What's up? I'm on Last Chaos, all that good stuff. My day is going pretty good. Hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. So, do you know what it is you wish? Or what it is you want? Can you describe upon what it is that you want? Without any issues upon describing it to another? If you can't, you should be able to describe it to another. For if you cannot do this, what kind of reason is small? Is it two? You expect to be what it is you wish to be, but your reason is too small? What do you want? Can you taste it? Can you smell it? Do you even know what it is? If you don't, I assure you this, you won't get there for starters. Because you don't know where it is you wish to go. For the information on what it is that is your dream, you must know. If you don't, you have a small issue. Might be wise if it is you address this issue. Now this dream can also be, as far as situation that you happen to see. In that situation, what is it that you wish to see be done? Can you taste it? Can you smell it as if it is already done? It's like looking at a piece of chicken that is uncooked. Imagining, seeing and tasting as it is already cooked. You imagine upon what it is that it would taste like. Do you not find the ingredients to make it to where it would taste like? So what is it that you want? If you don't know, more than likely you won't get it up front. If you don't, you won't get it after either. For you don't know in truth what it is you're after. Do you know why you're after whatever that is? Why do you deserve it? Do you have an answer for that? Now, if it's because you think you just deserve it, have you put any actions in to prove upon the fact you deserve it? Then why would it be given to you otherwise? That end result of that situation, do you wish to actually have the end result you wish? Do you not see the applications with this? Put in the work, you get. You don't, well, for the most part, you won't. That's like expecting an employer to pay you when it is you have not gone to work for an entire week. Do you think they will give you a check? Or would they be more like, did you actually work for that? So what do you want? The more you can describe it, the more you actually make it be instead of just describing it. For heart's desires will be given. If it is, you show the action that it is, deserve to, and have been given. Think of anything. Doesn't matter. Try to think of how it is you will achieve that. Funny thing, when you notice, when that question is asked, of course, you already know actions are required. In some way, is it not? If you do not know upon what it is you want, how can you answer that last one? How will you achieve it? Goals are an important thing, my friend. If it is that you wish to get to that end, whatever the goal may be, you can aim low, but if it is you miss, you accomplish a lot less if it is you choose to do it like this. But to aim so high that one thinks that you're crazy, now that is one that because the effort, at the end they will think you are not crazy. And may be astonished upon what it is that you have accomplished, merely by changing the way that you set your goals to accomplish. Aim high and fall amongst the stars. Otherwise, you land on the ground and you do not go far. What do you want? Why? And when do you want it? Setting time frames is another good thing. For then you can see within the progress if it is you're working hard enough for your dream. I know you might think, that doesn't matter. Okay, for some reason, if it is you think this, let me ask you this simple question. Don't be surprised when I ask you this question. So, when it is you go to your 9 to 5, do you not think they have goals for you, for what it is you achieve upon that day? So instead of you setting a goal that makes it to where you do not have to work there, they set one for you so you do. Hmm. You have another person setting a goal that you do not want to achieve, and you achieve it. And yet you wonder why you are among the 2%. Or is that the 98%? Which one is it? That attitude of thinking. In truth, it's the 98%. Not the 2. So what's the difference between this 2% and 98? The 2% are the ones that set goals for themselves and you. The 98% are ones that do not set goals whatsoever. That is the difference. What do you want? How do you want it? When do you want it? Where do you want it? The reason why you deserve it. If you cannot answer these mere questions, you will remain amongst the 98%. Don't care if you like that or not. By the way, this 98% never accomplishes anything in their life. Lives from week to week. Complains about what it is they get, but yet they do not do anything to change what it is they get. Sorry if I stepped on a few toes there. That wasn't the place I was aiming, though. It's truth, though. You don't like it? Well, do something about it. Otherwise, well, you already know the result of that. That aside, so what are you going to do about what it is that you want? Are you going to stand there and complain? Or are you going to actually do some actions instead of complain? If you do nothing, it will remain the same. Do you know why you want it? You're going to hear me ask these questions quite a few times. There's a reason why. I know, by doing a little bit of studying, on average, it takes 69 times of telling somebody something before they actually will listen to you. Or remember what it is you have said. So how many times is it already? What do you want? That can be relationship and other things too. What do you want out of your relationship? Why? Why do you deserve it? How are you going to achieve it? What is your plan amongst the looking? Why are you looking? If you can answer these, you're much farther off than most. Especially the how will you achieve it? In what amount of time, too? More than just something you say, you actually pursue. I know normally I rhyme a little bit more and all that, but sometimes it's not always required to do that. If you write these down, it's much better, especially if you do something very, very clever. Now, you have a cell phone, do you not? More than likely, you're listening to it or watching on one at this spot. Now, your goal. You realize you have a calendar upon your phone. You could set alarms and other things. You ever thought of such things? You can set a reminder of what it is that you wish to achieve. You can even put that in your wallet if you wanted. And at those moments when it is that you start to doubt, all of a sudden, you have something to dispute this doubt. You can always keep progress of it too, without a doubt. Can you not? Maybe a little journal or something? You want to know how a writer, usually, in a lot of cases, come up with the story? It's much easier than you might think. They have a dream journal a lot of times. Right by their bed, so as soon as they wake up, they can remember what happened within that. And by recording that, new ideas for what it is they wish to write. Makes it much easier at that time to write. Do you have a dream upon what it is you want? If you don't want to carry a journal with you, you can always do that on your phone. Did you know that? You can even write down what it is you accomplished. Have it with you as well to remind you. You can do a video journal too if you wanted, all on your phone. You can make a special folder just for that, so you can separate that. You know, you ever watch the movies and why they're experimenting with stuff or anything else like that? They always have something like that. There's a reason why. You ever think of that in your dream or what it is you wish to achieve? That way you can always put why it is you want what it is you want. How long it will take you to accomplish, or your goal to. Why it is so important to you. What it is that you will do, and why it is deserved by you. You can always do it once a night before you go to sleep, or once upon the day when you no longer sleep. You may think, oh, that's kind of a useless practice. Months later, if this you were to practice, you would thank me for the idea. Try it for a few months. See what happens. Anything that is on your mind at that time. Progress or breakthroughs, too. Anything that applies to it. Months later, see what it is that you said. By then, you will forget upon what it is you have said. And then you will have proof upon what it is that is your progress. Then you have no excuse. Oh, I give up because I have no progress. Try that excuse with me. See how long that gets. I know you might think it is silly at first, but try it. See what happens. Tell you another thing that will happen. You will get to know yourself more than what it is that you know now. Nowadays, it's much easier. With your cell phone, you can keep it with you. You can encrypt it. You can put a password on it. You can do all kinds of things with that. Shoot, as long as it was probably appropriate, you could even do that on Facebook or another site, and all of a sudden you become a blogger. It's easy as that. Of course, if you do that, you must deal with other people's comments and have confidence. It's fairly simple, too. Write down or do like a journal such as that. At the end of the day or the start. If you want to go to the next level, as far as that, do it at the start and the end. You can always put what it is you wish to accomplish that day on the first. Then, on the second, you can always say what it is you accomplished. How, why, where, when. The possibilities are endless as far as how you can do that. But also, as it is you do that first one, throughout the day, you remind yourself of what it is you happen to say. So you will not forget. You can even do it in the middle of the day, or have something new you wish to accomplish. When, why, and where. Then the progress at the end of the day towards that. Months later, how much proof do you have upon what it is that you have accomplished? Or struggled with? Because then all of a sudden you know what it is you need to work on too. So what is it that you want? Why? Where? And when? Is there any reason why you think you won't get it? Anything that you think that will make it to where you're not? And if there is, what will you do to change that upon this spot? Will you do anything? Will you not? Have any emotions that you need to get out upon this spot? Feeling bad about a situation? Multiple things can be used in that with that situation. Now, if it is that you have that negative thought, good questions to ask upon this spot. Why do I feel that way? Is it right for me to feel that way? And what can I do to change it? Is this something that someone else has put over me as far as what they believe? Is this something that I believe? To questions, give answers. If it is that in truth you actually wish to see the answers, and make progress upon whatever it is you wish. And it doesn't have to be a video journal either, by the way. You can record just the audio of it if that makes you feel uncomfortable. Is there anything that makes you sad? Anything you can't stand? Any pet peeves that you have? Any questionable beliefs you might have that maybe you think you're less? Why? When did you get this belief? Was it contributed by someone else that has no bearing upon what it is that is your life. And what will you do to fix it? If you do nothing, it remains the same. If it is you choose to do something, you will see a change. For if it is that you conquer one of these, you can easily make a reminder of the fact. You can even categorize it if you wanted. Oh, the things that I don't like, or the things I wasn't able to accomplish. If there is something, answer why. Is there anything you can do about that answer? Is there anything you can learn from that experience to get a better response the next time? Is there anything that for some reason you feel that you need to do what it is that is your dream? Do you know anyone that is currently pursuing or has in the past? Do they possibly have something that might be able to help you? You never know. You ever look for maybe some special deals? If it is that you're, say that that item is what something you need, but not willing to spend it, answer why. And what can you do to fix that answer? What can you change to make it to where that is no longer an answer? Is it because you think that you don't have enough to do it? If you don't, amongst many fields, there are resources to get what it is you need upon that field, or at least assistance to get such. Now, if it is not you have gone down that avenue, why not? So what is it that you want? And why do you think you're not getting it? Is it your consistency? Is it that you're actually doing something? Are you not? Is it something you just kind of want in this spot? Is it something your actions are different than what they should be? Okay, what is it that you wish to achieve? And under normal circumstances, what is required for this for you to achieve? Are you doing that or are you not? If not, why? You'd be surprised if you answer all these. What answers you might know about yourself that you did not, or why it is that you may not be successful in this spot. To know how to answer questions that lead to answers. That, for knowing these answers, you know upon why it is you are where it is you are. Then you know where it is you need to go and how far. First, you must know the orientation of where you are. Is it very, very hard to maybe answer a few of these? Are you scared to answer a few of these? Do you feel guilty because you cannot? Another good question. Do you wish to be among the 2%? Or do you not? Why do you wish to be among this percent? And what will you do to get amongst this 2%? Your actions are what proves if it is that you will or not. Think any successful business did not act upon this spot. By the way, give you a small example of this. I deal with this every day, actually. Now, I get a lot of people that try to contact me to either do graphics or have them do graphics for me, do promotion and other things. And generally speaking, there's two different ones that turn out in this conversation. Ones that, as soon as they see opposition, they stop. That's the last thing I hear from them. Then there's others, almost every day. Now, hypothetically, if there's somebody that you were to be a business partner with, Do you wish to have one that just gives up, or one that is persistent until that sale is made? Now, out of these, more than likely, statistically speaking, which one has gotten more business and which one has not? Granted, for those, I still have to answer that, but I definitely notice. Like, well, if anything changes, I'll definitely make sure that they know they were noticed. When you think about it, you want to have somebody that just stops before, just because there happened to be, oh, well, I already have someone else doing that. Which, right now, that is my answer. Because it's true. But when I have somebody almost every day saying hello and trying to speak to me, and the only thing they're trying to speak is what it is they offered to me 3, maybe 2 weeks ago. But then there's others. As soon as I said that, okay, TY, bye. Hadn't talked to me since. Who do you think I'm going to pick? Doesn't mean that's going to happen, but hypothetically, if they do that with me, how many other people do they do that with? This person definitely knows what it is they want. Not backing off until they get what it is they want. Doesn't mean they're going to get it. But statistically speaking, this person will be one that gets more sales than the one that just backs off as soon as I said that. Would they not? Something I deal with daily. Oh, it is a pretty hard struggle too. Because it's like, did you not hear what it is I just told you? But then I'm like, yeah, well, you're persistent. So, what do you want? Are you gonna be persistent in what it is that you're trying to achieve, or the situation you want to actually see instead of the one that is current? What will you do to change that situation that is current? Will you be the one that says, I want this, but then as soon as opposition is shown, nope, nope, I guess I don't. Can you answer that last one? Very good if you can. If you can't, Might want to change it to where you can. Do you actually wish to be where it is you actually say? Only your actions prove this. You're either A, the one, as soon as the opposition happened to show. Say, oh, okay. Or one that is persistent. Now, if it is actually one that is worthwhile too, though, you must keep that in mind as well. Like, I'll give you an example. Just a small one. Say, like, there's somebody that does just something normal, just like everybody else. And then there's one that goes above and beyond and nowhere close to what anyone else does. Now, to be persistent, which one is the more likely and best choice to make? Not the average one. They're dime a dozen. At that point, you just move on and go to the rest. But if it's one that you know for a fact is tremendously different, I mean, it's like one in a lifetime kind of chance compared to, oh, well, they just do everything just like everyone else. All I gotta do is move on and find somebody else and still get. Because it's easy to find such ones as this. If it's worth the while, why not be persistent because you know that it is worth your while? Or one that stands out a little bit more than the rest. That could be true as far as opportunities you might get. There are a few that will only come once or twice in your life. You gonna back off on one like that? Or are you gonna be persistent until you know for a fact you cannot get that? If it is that you do not achieve what it is that you wish to achieve, how long before you will get back up and try something else? Or change the tactic upon how it is that you pursue? Just because you're not successful that first time does not mean you won't be the second. Or the third, however many times it might be. You learn from what it is that the result you did not see. That is the point. For the next time you try to do it, you start to see something such as that. And because of the lesson you learned from the one before, you know exactly what to do with that. It's like Thomas Edison. You realize it took him about 1,000 times? Do you give up after the first? I wonder, would you been able to create the light bulb or not? Hmm. No wonder it was him that did it, not you in this spot. Of course, also, you got to keep in mind the useless chatter, too. The ones that say, oh, you won't achieve. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Here's the funny part. Pay attention to the ones that are successful. Find out how it is they are successful. They set goals and they're high. They utilize every moment of time. They do not give up when it is they hear a no. They continue. Every day they try to learn. For every bit of knowledge that they happen to earn, regardless if it is from another or from a failure before they happen to move to another. One of your greatest friends can be finding a new method for your success to have been seen. An invent can't pronounce the word. I'll describe it. Something that changes the way that you do whatever that activity happens to be, and your life is never the same afterwards. Sorry, after a while, sometimes just can't say the word. At times that will happen. Your mouth gets tired or whatever. So what kinds of things can do that for you? Maybe a different concept of how to view? I mean, like the small examples that I gave to you. If you were to apply, what kind of things would you be able to achieve if you were to apply? To answer the questions and do so in private if it is you wish. Record what it is that you say, any progress you get regardless, or any problems you have. Months later, there's a lot of information that you have forgot that you have. That can help you be successful in your next situation, especially if it is you put down upon what it is that happened and what it is you did. Why do you think you got that result? What the next time will you try to do to change it? By doing this, you have proof upon each situation if it works or not. And you don't have to remember it either. Because months later, you'll forget. Be in a situation, and all of a sudden, it dawns on you. Hey, I have something on this. Let's see what happened with this. You can even do it by situation. Actually label it. Do you think big corporations use such things as this? Or advertisers use this? How else do you think they know if it works or if it doesn't? They keep a record of what works and what does not, don't they? Then why do you not? It's like the next time you see your supervisor, and then they're in the office on that computer. You ever wonder what they do all day on that? You think they just play solitaire or something? You realize they're communicating with the others, saying what it is that they were wanting to achieve upon that day that you are supposed to. And answering other things as far as what it is that you are going to achieve. When, where, how. You realize they're doing that, right? Setting goals for you, and they're not even the one that should be. You are. What do you want to achieve? Because if you do not answer it, somebody else will. Well, looks like I need to take an intermission. Be a great time for you to do so as well, if you need to. It'd be a good time to think of questions or comments. I'll take time to address that after this and at the end if there is any. One other thing, if you like the motivation poetry thing I do, you can look it up on any major music distributor. Gaming with Knack, Inspirations of a Gamer. The strength you find while it is you go through the struggle. Something unique about yourself you'll learn in the midst of this struggle. Do you pay attention to how it is that you react? Is it something good? Is it something not? Do you show strength or weakness? At these points, you have a chance to show strength, not weakness. Do you analyze such things as this to learn a little bit more about yourself in the mist? Very wise to do so if you do not. You can also find out upon what it is you need to work on in this spot. New strengths you can possibly find, or ones you may not have noticed. When you pay attention, all of a sudden you find. What it is that you learn about yourself. You find something unique that is like no one else. Do not pay attention to such things as this. You walk blindly around as it is you choose to do this. Why is it you could not know that in that struggle you actually grew beyond what it was that you were before? No matter if in that moment you wanted to put your knees upon the floor, but by going through, you opened an entirely different door. One to show the true strength that one can show. If it was to this difficulty you happened to show, you are below. You cannot handle my final blow. No matter what it may have been. No matter what it is that was judgments of others as they seen. Your end result was only up to you, not upon what another says or acts against you. Easily declare with loud voice, with either your lips or your actions as your voice. You cannot stand against me. For the actions and words you see are from one that happens to be free to decide upon what it is that happens to me. In the midst of this struggle, many things you can learn about yourself if you pay attention while you're in this struggle. No matter what upon it is. You are the only one that determines at the end what it is. If you are the one that does not back down, declare such things. Your situation must back down. With unwavering actions upon what it is that you believe. only with that will the result from the situation you see. If it is you do not truthfully believe, then the opposite of this, at least in your actions, you will see. Does not mean that you learn. Does that mean that you do not have a chance to learn? Does that mean you might not fail at first? But when you get knocked down, do you stay upon the ground and wait for the count of 10? Or do you stand up before that count of 10? Do you go through all 9 or 10 rounds? Or do you, after the first, back down? The situation does not define you. It is how you act that happens to define you. In the situation, are you bold? Do you show that any against your efforts become old? Or do you let it be, without the chance of something different out of the outcome for you to see? Just because the situation may look dire does not mean that you cannot ascend higher. Does not mean it cannot be changed. Would a jury of 12 convict that you are not willing to take what it is that you know should not? So in this situation, can you prove it to these 12 without a doubt? Or do you settle with something that you were never meant to settle? You have a chance to change for what it is that is your situation that happens to settle. Until it's over, it is not a final verdict. So why do you act as if it is a final verdict? It may seem that you cannot get past whatever it may be, but with resilience and looking for possibility, you'd be surprised upon what it is you see. But here's the thing. It's up to you. You see a situation you happen to be going through. You do not like it, but yet you do nothing. You realize you do not like it. So why do you not do something? You are accepting something that has not been finalized. In a gist, this is what you are doing when you do this. Before the closing case, of both sides, prosecution and defense, you're allowing the jury to go into their room, decide the verdict before their allotted time to go into that room. By not doing what it is that you can possibly do to change it. This is what it is you do because you choose not to change it. Looking for opportunities to change the situation, regardless of the struggle that happens to be in the situation. That final verdict has a lot to do with what it is you believe and act. Then why do you believe in something when you know it's different? All you must do is show and act. And this is why some people complain all the time. For they knew that it was a wrong verdict the whole time. But because they did not do when it was time to, they did that jury thing that I described to you. Because of the fact they chose not to do. Do you feel as if this situation should not stand before you? Whatever it may be, you're the one that decides if it is, or if it is allowed to be. You and you alone. If you do everything you possibly can and it does not work, then at least you can say that you did some work. At least you can say that you tried, instead of complaining about something that you never even gave a single effort or tried. Alrighty, I'm back, all that good stuff. My day is going pretty good, all that. Another thing I'll add to what was said previously about the idea doesn't mean you have to do this every day. You can do it once a week, once a month. As far as the little video recording kind of thing, you have to collect your thoughts for that entire period of time, but And you have to make sure that you review it at some point as well, or it is not very well used at that point. Or you can just do it on your aspiration or whatever it is you wish to pursue. It doesn't have to be about your personal life either. Multiple applications of how you could use that. So what is it that you want? That was the question, right? Now let's ask a different question. What will you do to get what it is you want? How much work will it be that you put in for what it is you get out? Will you just stand or lay about? If you lay there, you get nothing out. So what is it that you will do? Is it something that is actually, in truth, desired by you? You can say it all you want, but until you act, there's no proof. No proof in that. Why not just act? May be hard to do that. May go through struggle as it is you do that. But is it really something worth to you? Just think, if you show the worth of what it is that is this dream, eventually ones will enjoy watching your dream, or engaging in whatever service or other that you provide. Otherwise, you will never know if it is mere questions of why it is you have not grown, have not been answered. Do you even seek in truth the answer? Or do you not wish to be successful, or the 98% that happens to be not? The choice is yours. You're the only one that can open those doors. If you choose not, then you will be at a moment that you did not know what it is you could have accomplished at that moment. You will always have that doubt that stops you and is always about. But to face it, face on. To show with your actions that it is gone. Shows more character and strength than ones, because they choose not to act, show upon the fact they are weak. Do you think it will come to you in just a mere week? Maybe a month? depends on how much work you put in that week or month. Have you put the work in? Have you not? Do you even know upon what it is you wish to have upon this spot? What do you want? In truth, your actions prove upon what it is in truth you want. If you're one that wishes not to put anything in, then you will have an empty cup at the end. If it is you do not defend what it is that is your dream, your keep will be taken in the end. If you carefully do not watch upon the words you speak over yourself, an edge of a knife, have strife upon that spot. If you do not guard upon what it is that you love, then nothing left will you have guard or that love. If it is that you do not have a source, you will be one that fails because you have not given and taken from that source. If you are humble but relentless, the force of what you do, it will be shown as it is relentless. But humble at the same time, knowing what it is that you must learn something for that attempt may have died. To know upon what it is that you are capable of. There's only one that can know what it is that you are capable of. You have a choice upon this day. If it is that the flower upon what it is that you can do and pursue, it will show you particular favor. If it is that it is your flavor. If it is that you listen to others' comments, meaningless, nothing within their comments, to take a grain of salt upon what it is that one happens to say, to know if it is something worth saying or it dies upon that day. For it is not of substance, for it must lay on the ground, for it is not substance. And to trample upon what it is that they may have said. For what it is that you know that you want, with your actions you have said. And knowing upon this fact, you're the one that has chosen the result that happens to be that. To heed but not to listen. to take the time to actually listen. For ones that wish to help, it is not wise to take advantage of ones that help. In the midst of the search, many things you will encounter in this search. You will find ones that doubt, ones that do not know what it is that is the truth and what it is about. For with enough effort, the product of what it is that is your effort shows. There is no dispute. The only thing about it is, the result is up to you. Reading between the lines upon the information you happen to see. Knowing things later that at that point, if you do not record, you cannot see. Simple way to prove upon this fact. What is it that you did 3 months back? Exact, to this time. Can you tell me this at this time? Was there anything that you learned from it? Anything you did not? Anything that you would have changed upon that spot? What did you eat 3 weeks ago? How did you feel about an individual? What is it that you wish? What is it that you want? If you do not know the information, how do you expect to have progress? If you do not know anything about that progress. If it is not that you have taken such things into account, then what do you have to lose? Every moment you choose not to see, moments dead opportunities do you see. If you do not know upon what it is that you did 3 weeks ago, and the result from that, how do you expect to get a different result than that? If it was to come again, at the day's start or the day's end, very wise to know upon what happened. Doesn't mean it influences in the future upon what happens. But to know such things can help you to ensure it does not happen in the same manner. Otherwise, you may repeat it without noticing you did it in the same manner. Give you a small example. Say you're in a relationship. Within the last three that you happen to have, how did they end? Are they similar in any way? Or are they completely different upon this day? Repeating the same behavior that does not lead to what it is you wish? Hmm. How is it that you can address this? To know upon what it is, ask questions upon how it is. How is it that I can change this? How many business fails have you had? Similar? Do you remember upon what it is you did? Do you know what your possible mistakes may have been? Or is it that you wish to have the same tragic end? For one that can see, the eyes, it is plainly in plain sight for all to see. But why is it that you yourself cannot see? Is it that you are not using a method that can allow? Or is it that you do not know how? A lot of power upon taking records. What do you want? Will you keep records upon how it is you wish to achieve? What it is amongst this you happen to see? Why it was not, maybe other people's opinions upon this spot? Hmm. No information such as this. Do you not think that you can correct this? Or is this a missed concept? So what is it that you want and what will you do? What different will you see and view? Will it be something that you repeat the same thing, expecting a different result, though you do not remember that you have seen? Do not know what upon it went wrong, so how can you know that this attempt you will not do it wrong? Why is it that you wish to have it? Is it a reason above all the conflict just to have it? For you will see struggle, no matter if it is you wish or not. Oh, I have bills upon this spot. It does not matter if it is that you pursue or not. You will still have bills, regardless, upon this spot. The only difference is, you choose to change for what it is. That it could be different if it is that you were to pursue. Do you not think that your efforts will not come back to you? Anybody that pursues it long enough, they can answer, for they have pursued it long enough. Ones that go to school and get into great professions, a great example of utilizing such information when they go into their profession. For many of them are required to keep records. That way, they can hand in what it is that is required for this records. For they cannot get a score if it is that they do not do what it is that is required. But how is it that you keep track upon what it is that is required? You ever call a business and they make a schedule? You ever think of why they have to make that schedule? You go to your 9 to 5. They tell you at the start what it is you will do at that 9 to 5. Do you think that it is freestyle at that exact time? No. They knew months or years ago what it is that when you come in, you are to do as it is. But yet, you do not do this? It's not that hard. What is it that you want? Are you going to do upon what it is you need to do to get as it is that you want? Will you not? The proof will be in the pudding 3 months from this spot. It will be 6 months from now. It will be a year. It will be 2 or 3, possibly 4 if it means to be. Do you have plans upon what it is at that time you wish to see? If you do not, why would you think that they will be? Pay attention to ones that are successful. They do these things, that is why they are successful. Why do you think they teach you in school to do such things as this? At least they did when I was in school. They had us have a planner. Every single thing that happened in that day, weeks before, we had to write them down. Even months ahead at some of them. Good practice, is it not? By the way, your phone can do that in this spot. Do you do such things? Only other question is, ones that do, compared to ones that do not, what do they accomplish compared? Makes me wonder. And these facts, have you ever compared? You think Eli Musk does not plan his day? You think Will Smith doesn't? Think Schwarzenegger doesn't? Think Obama doesn't? Think Biden doesn't? Yet you don't. You think of any actor you could ever think of? You think they don't plan their day? Yet you wonder why it is success does not come your way. And for some of these, they have ones that follow them around, that ensure that they show up to where it is they need to, when they need to. You ever think of that for a few seconds? Busy schedule so much that there's another one that has to coordinate in pursuing your dream, or what it is you wish to be, not someone that will pay you low. It doesn't play in your day even when it is home you go. What do you want and what will you do about it? Because otherwise, by no actions, you prove and that you are not about it. That in truth, that is something that you actually do not want. If you want something, you do something to get it. Do you not? If it is that you're like, it's too hard, too much work. That's why you are amongst the 98%. And until you change that, that's where you will remain to be. Even ones that happen to inherit money from somebody else. At that point, when they get it, if it's from a business of the one that was before them, what happens if they do not follow the plans that was made by the one that was before them? Or make their own to the way that they wish it to be from now on? Do you think they will keep it or will they not? What is it that you want? Even if it might be something that's hard, are you not willing to get that title of having to be hard? Because if you do not, do you really think that you will be successful in this spot? Many times ones that were successful choose not to be because it is too hard for what it is that they see. But at the time that they do such things, they don't notice or later they regret such things. For when they see the lowest upon where it is they can be, at that point they wish it would have been different for what it is that they and another happens to see. But to know upon the fact what it is you wish to do, and know how it is that you yourself will pursue, down to the day of what it is that you will do. How much more success can come to you than if it is that you just lazily go by, not trying to ensure the day is utilized as it is that goes by? At whatever time it is that you are to achieve, are you late upon simple things to achieve? Are you right on time, or you're not? Good answers and questions upon this spot. Is it that you cannot keep a simple appointment? What makes you think that you can show up on time for a successful apartment? Do you run away from it? You know, the success. Do you try to plan for it? One that is prepared is better than one that is not, for the one that isn't must scramble to get what it is the other does not. So how's it you look at this in this spot? What do you want and what will you do? Is there no proof on what it is you say you wish to do? No worth ethic upon what it is you need to do? And you wonder why the check keeps bouncing and coming back to you. It's not that hard to tell and use that view for what it is that in technicality you should do. If it is that in truth success is wanted by you. For ones that want they actually do. Ones that do not, they prove upon the fact it is not true. What is it that you will do? Is it something that is amiss to understand the concept by you? Do you wish for it to be just handed to you? Do you think even upon ones that may have had such things happen, for them to continue to have for what it is that has you have seen happen? What kinds of things in their life would they have to change to keep it? Do you think once you have it, you are just allowed to keep it? Without doing upon what it is that is required to have it? So what is it that you will do about what it is you want? Do you remember upon what it is that you want? Do you know how it is to tell what it is that you need to do different, if there is, to achieve upon what it is that you wish to achieve? Do you have answers for questions that were asked? Possible solutions to the answers that you have? No matter if it was a failed attempt or not. Do you know what the lesson could have been in that spot? Do you know how to ensure it does not happen upon the next? Or do you just try and have a guess? To have an educated guess is much different than not knowing at all. At least you know what works and what does not. What it could have been. Maybe a reason in that spot. To know this is much more power in that than what it is that you choose not to do such things as this. In your pursuit of happiness, many times you will have to know what it is that had and will make your happiness. But to know such things, you must know the answers to questions. For otherwise, you ask and do not have answers for these questions. Will you defend upon what it is that is yours? The dream that came to you that is yours. It came to you, not another. If it was not able to be achieved by you, it would come to another. Do you know what it is you wish to achieve? Do you know how to answer questions? Why it is, maybe previous times you did not achieve? Do you know what it is that possibly you could change to have a different result because you knew the answer to what it is that you needed to change? What do you want and what is it that you will do about it? Is it that you will just blindly pursue it? To do so is not wise. To know upon what it is you want, and know when it is and how you wish to achieve what it is you want, is different than pursuing it without a plan. Do you think, in truth, one that plans a battle has no plan? You realize you're playing Battleship, do you not? On the other side is your success, not an opponent on that spot. The point is to get where it is you know you have a successful hit. For it knows at that point that you are exactly right on point. But do not have any goals. How can you play Battleship with your goals? Hmm. Good question, isn't it? Don't know if you hit what it is that you need to hit because you do not have anything to hit. You do not have goals. You cannot play Battleship. You must have something there. You know if it is that you hit what it is that is the goal and hit it fully. You know upon the time if it is that you have not hit it fully. What is it that you want? Do you have a goal set upon what it is you want? So you know what it is that you try to achieve. You can confirm a hit on the ship when part of that goal happens to be seen as complete. Or do you have anything to aim for? For once it is, you find the general spot. Just gotta move it a little bit around to find out the rest. Do you not? Ever think of playing Battleship with your goals? If you don't, you play it with somebody else's, not yours. The place you go for your 9 to 5. They have a plan, what it is they wish for you to achieve. Do you? Or is that something that will remain the truth for you? Making another person's wealthy, all because you do not use the information given for how it is they did and others have? You think now if it was they had goals for you, do you think they did not have ones for themselves? That is why you do not work for yourself. Well, that looks like all the time I have for now. So, until next time.